What's up, guys? So welcome back to my channel. I have not been on here in a minute, but I thought I would switch up things and talk about something I really don't talk about much on my channel, but also to kind of shed a little light on why I have not been on here. This is sounding so dramatic. It's not that dramatic, I promise. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because I feel like maybe it could help out someone who might just be going through this experience, or you know, maybe someone out there is going through this as well and can help me. But in short, I have really bad knees. I don't talk about this that much. I don't know why I don't talk about this much, but I don't. I have chronic knee pain, and it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't talk about it, but I probably should talk about it more, because the interesting thing is when I go mountain biking, just the majority of people that I have met out on the trails, we all have one thing in common, and that is we've had knee injuries, and that's pretty much what has led us to finding mountain biking. And mountain biking is amazing for anyone who has knee problems. I can't say enough amazing things about mountain biking and just cycling in general for anyone who has bad knees. It does wonders. So without making this a 2-hour long video, and to give you just the very short version of the story, I played soccer my whole life up until my junior year of high school. That is when I tore my MCL and cracked my bone playing soccer. I had a lot of knee injuries playing soccer, a lot. I would always have like internal bleeding, I feel like, with my knees. I had a lot of injuries with my knees. That was the number one thing. I didn't injure anything else, but I injured my knees. And I feel like that is kind of what, it is what has set me up and put me on this road that I'm currently on right now with my knees. And so you go from high school Morgan to then 23-year-old Morgan. I started having some really bad symptoms because I went to physical therapy when I, tore my MCL, did all that, rehabilitated my knee, but things just were never the same after that. My knee just felt weird. I had to quit playing soccer because things just weren't right, and I just couldn't play soccer anymore. My knee was starting to really swell up. I couldn't extend it fully, and I was just hobbling around. I couldn't straighten my knee, and it was a pretty big problem. I went to my orthopedic, and they found out that I had chondromalacia in both my knees. Chondromalacia, in short, a lot of people refer to it as runner's knee. It's when you have your cartilage is damaged, and there's a lot of symptoms that come with chondromalacia. I'll get more into that later. But that's what they found out when I had my MRI, that I had in both of my knees. So when they found that out, they told me I needed to stop running, that I could no longer run. I don't know anyone who has chondromalacia, so I don't know if there's different cases of it, different levels of, maybe you can have it really bad or not as bad. I'm not really sure how that works. It's bad for me, at least, and I found it true that I can't run. It's painful. It just is something that I cannot do physically. I can do it. Am I going to pay for it? 100% I'm going to pay for it, and it's going to be bad. So I stopped running. So then I just kept going on, chugging along through the years, and since I found out I had chondromalacia, that was 7 years ago, and I get cortisone shots every single year because I get to the point where I can't even walk because my knees will swell up, or they'll be so painful, and it's like clockwork, once a year there Morgan goes, has to get her little cortisone shots in her knees. And that's problematic because cortisone shots over time can make your bones brittle, and yes, I'm still young, but it's not something I want to just be my solve for this, that's the issue. So then fast forward to the end of last year. You guys know I did Mount Whitney. I did a lot of training, a lot of hiking, so much hiking that it was probably entirely too much wear and tear on my knee for someone who has very bad knees. Probably not a great thing. For anyone who has this issue, stay away from anything that is giving you a lot of impact. So like running and things like that, and hiking, it's not the best, let's be honest. Cycling, mountain biking, honestly, those are the best things you can do because it's very low impact. End of last year, I just really put my body through a lot, my knees particularly. I really put them through a lot, and I started really going on this downward spiral. Things just started to really escalate with my knees, and it wound me back up at the orthopedic, and he did another MRI because I haven't had an MRI done in so long. It's like, you know, let's just see where things are. And it wasn't good. It was not good. As I suspected, I was not where I was 7 years ago. Things had drastically changed. And so I was like, wait a minute, let me get this straight. So I have chondromalacia, and I also have arthritis in my knees, is what you're saying? He's like, yeah. So that was fun. So then with that, he put me in physical therapy. I was in physical therapy for 2.5 months, going twice a week, which was crazy. And really, he had me in there to work on my stretching and to really help alleviate any tension that I had on my knee, in hopes that stretching would help that. Let me tell you, I was there for 2.5 months, and my symptoms worsened in the time I was in physical therapy, and I don't know, it didn't help anything, which was really, really a big bummer, because I was really hoping for some awesome results, and that's not what happened to me at all. I was in a lot more pain. There's just certain things that I know I can't do. Again, I can do them, but the consequences are far too great for me to want to do it. So, you know, squatting is one. I can't do squats because that's going to really set my knees over the edge. And any kind of left to right movements with weight, like tension bands, that doesn't work out for me. So they were having me do a lot of squats and things like that because they really wanted to strengthen my glutes, because they're like, you have really strong legs, but we really want to work on your glutes and strengthening those. And so that's what I was doing, and doing squats and everything like that. Every time I would go, it was just really pushing me over. I was in a lot of pain going through physical therapy because I was having to do all that, and I can't do squats. It sets my knees off. So unfortunately, physical therapy didn't work. So I completed physical therapy, and at the end of it, I was like, this isn't working. And my orthopedic told me verbatim, you know, you are young, and I know no young person wants to hear this, but you have got to severely cut back on the activities that you're doing. And that sucks. You guys know I'm extremely active. I mountain bike, I now snowboard, which my orthopedic would absolutely have a heart attack probably if he knew I was doing that. I'm an avid hiker. I do all these things all the time, and I can't help it because I've kind of gotten this, I don't know, I go stir crazy if I'm not doing something like that on the weekends. So that pretty much takes up my entire weekend, just doing things like that. It's hard to tell your friends like you have limits. I don't know if anyone else who has this issue runs into this, but again, since it is chronic pain, it's not something you can see. So your friends don't know you're in all this pain, and it's one of those things where I had a situation where my friend, he was like wanting to go down a black diamond, and there's just, I don't know, I just set certain boundaries up for myself. And he was kind of like, why won't you go down this, like blah blah blah, like, you know, like live. It was really icy that day too, and I was like, you know, I can't afford to fall. That's the bottom line. And you know, people who don't have this, you know, it's hard to explain to them, like, listen, like, you don't understand, if I fall, I have to pay a great consequence. Okay, it's hard telling people that because they don't understand, because they're like, what do you mean? And you know, you fall too many times and you're like screwed. For anyone who is watching this who doesn't have any of these conditions, just to kind of give you an idea of what it's like, it is, you always have this dull ache no matter what, 24/7, 7 days a week. It's always there. It's not something that's ever going to go away. You're always going to have some pain there. It might be mild, it might be high, there's going to be some kind of pain there. Your brain just learns to kind of tune it out when it's so mild because it's always there. It just gets used to it, so you don't even pay attention to it half the time. So it's easy to tune it out until it flares up, then it becomes this conscious thing. And you're realizing it's there when it flares up, but it's always there. But with this, I sometimes struggle going up the stairs. Like, I'm an 80-something-year-old woman. My knee just wants to collapse. It feels like I have pins underneath my kneecap. My kneecap's pressing down on, you know, these pins and needles. It's just not a fun feeling. And the worst part of it all, I used to be able to sit on a plane, and 2.5, 3 hours was kind of my threshold for having my knees bent. And now I'm at a point where having my knees bent for like 5 minutes hurts. It really, really aches. It's hurting, it's throbbing. So I'm constantly having to stretch out my legs. Yeah, so that's pretty much, just to paint you guys a picture for anyone who doesn't know, that's kind of what that's like. It's it's annoying. It's really annoying. It's frustrating. It's all of that, especially when, you know, this is a condition that is found in a lot of people who are, you know, entering their 60s and things like that. And here I am 30. I just turned 30. So it's a situation, but look, we're already 15 minutes into this video and I'm still talking. So anyways, my next steps are to try hyaluronic acid shots. I haven't tried that yet. That's next on my list because I'm trying to get away from the cortisone shots as much as possible. So I really want to do hyaluronic acid shots next for therapy. There's stem cell shots. The thing with that is it's like $8,000 per knee, and you don't know if it's really going to work. A lot of people, I forget the success rate, but it's far too low to spend $8,000 when you don't know if something's going to work. It's just a really big gamble in my opinion. So I'm just holding in there, waiting for something to come up. But until then, I'm definitely going to try the hyaluronic acid shots. I actually just got acupuncture for the first time today. So TBD on that if that helps at all. But that was an interesting experience, getting acupuncture for the first time. I didn't know it's really good for people who have osteoarthritis. So if you are someone in this boat too, definitely try it. My mindset with this is just I want to try everything and see what works. My orthopedic really wants surgery to be the absolute last resort for me. He's not, you know, knife happy. So he really wants to have that as the very last resort. And honestly, for me, unless I get to the point where I can hardly walk and I'm just, I don't know, dragging myself, I really want to stay far away from surgery. I feel like I'm so young to be doing something like that now. You know, I don't know, I'm so active. I would just hate for something to go wrong and things are worse. So that's my greatest fear. So it's just something I'm really willing to stay far, far away from for right now. But yeah. So that's my knee story. That's where I'm at currently. I have really just been trying to scale back down on hikes, things like that. I haven't been biking as much. I need to bike though. That's what I need to be doing because everyone that I talk to, and I mentioned that I mountain bike, they're like, that's great because it really does. It strengthens all the muscles around your knees. I honestly can't say enough great things about it. I've been mountain biking now for a little over 4 years, and before I started, I could barely crouch down to get something like out from underneath my sink. I would have to pull myself up because I couldn't do it. My knees were hurting so bad. And they would just collapse. I don't know, I couldn't do it. And when I started mountain biking, that just went away and I could just pop up and down easily. So I can't say enough things about mountain biking. I think it does wonders. So that's always my thing for everyone. Like, just go mountain bike. You need a mountain bike. Mountain biking is the answer for everything. But that's kind of where I am right now. I'm gonna try going to acupuncture once a week to see if that does anything, because why not? I wanna do everything I can. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. If any of you guys are in the same boat as me, I would love to hear any advice you have for me. If you have tried stem cell shots, if there's anyone who's tried stem cell shots or any other kind of procedure, please let me know. I am all ears because I really there's no cure for this, unfortunately. As we know, like arthritis, there is no cure. But I would just love something that could help just in the slightest. And you know, I have other issues too. I have like scar tissue all on my knees that probably really honestly needs to be cleaned out. That would probably make some of my symptoms a lot better because, as we know, having scar tissue in your knees leads to discomfort as well. So there's just many things that I have going on in my crazy little knees of mine. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I promise to start hopefully uploading more regularly because I miss, you know, putting together these videos. But that's kind of where I've been at for the last couple of months. I've been dealing with this and I've been trying to, you know, take advice from everyone and slow down. And then I've just heard so many things though. I've just heard so many things. You know, my physical therapist, my orthopedic is telling me like chill out, like cut everything in half and like quit going crazy with your activities. And my physical therapist on the other hand was like, go do your thing, you know, like it's okay, just go, you're active, that's great. And so I'm just kind of torn with what I'm supposed to be doing. Am I supposed to be just taking it easy, or should I continue? Of course, I'm not trying to do Whitney style hikes all the time because I think that's just, you know, from someone who has bad knees, that's too much wear and tear. You know, that's like a once a year kind of thing, if that, for me. But it's just, yeah, it takes a toll. But anyways, I will see you guys in my next video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and bye guys.